What up? Hi everyone, welcome to my channel.
Born to parents who struggled in their lives growing up, but who did their best to make sure I get all that was needed. I have gone through all the ups and downs, highs and lows, negatives and positives, but I'm still standing and pushing on. Join me on my YouTube channel, where I'll be taking you through all the themes which have played out in my life and the lessons I uncovered during the process. This is all leading to my ultimate success. I am Fredballzwane, and I am my ancestors' wildest dream.
Hello everyone from out there, welcome to my channel. My name is Fredballzwane, going by the name Fredballzwane according all the social media platforms. Welcome to my channel. Before I'm going to tell you what I'm going to speak about today, don't forget to subscribe, to comment, to share, to like, and most importantly, tell everyone that your boy, Mr. Fredballzwane, is here on YouTube. Don't forget to follow me across all the social media platforms. I'm here at home on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, and I am on Twitter. Welcome to Fredballzwane. Hi everyone. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gonna be brutally honest. I haven't recorded in a while. Life happened. Phones got lost. There was no data. You know, most that data in South Africa is just very, very, very expensive. But most I'm someone who just rolls with the punches. So I also always believe that a person who lives within hope does not have grace. So if you have grace within yourself, each and everything which will be get uh, thrown at you, English, thrown at you, you'll just embrace it, whether it's good, bad. But I love the badness of each and everything, because I believe that you get to unfold a certain layer within yourself and you teach yourself particular things. So yeah, subscribe. So basically, the topic for today is going to be unemployment and all the jobs I've done. Guys, I think I've been in quite a few industries of my life, and from each and every industry I've been part of, there's many things I've actually learned about myself. There's many things I've actually learned about those particular industries. But basically, what is most important is just me. Guys, I've done quite a few things. So, the topic for today is unemployment and the jobs that I've done. Just like anyone who has just been following everything from social media to the government to each and everything. Guys, jobs are really scarce, and I don't know what the fuck is really happening. Sorry for that. But since COVID-19 hit us, um a lot of companies have been retrenching people. um, uh, they are downsizing because of everything which happened, which just affected them. There's artificial intelligence, which is just replacing humans within doing jobs, and now machines are actually facilitating our jobs and just a whole lot of things, man. I think that the world is going just through a whole lot of changes, and now, regardless of whether you have so much experience, whether you've gone to school, depending on what qualification, because that's another important factor one has to take into account, especially this like now, the matriculants are actually writing, so good luck to everyone. So now I always say that by the 10th grade, immediately when you get an opportunity to actually choose your particular subject, you should now have an idea of what am I going to be doing after matric, because now there are certain careers I just believe are just pointless and just useless, unless if you were to particular Because at the end of the day, you know what? One thing I've seen about especially students within high school, we tend to pick particular things which do not interest us. So immediately now, when you've enrolled in that tertiary or TBFT institution, within the same year or a couple of months while you are doing your first level, now everything is just boring. So now, at the end of the day, you must understand what are your interests. And at the end of the day, I know that there's just a whole lot of factors which affect students in choosing a particular qualification to actually do in tertiary. But you must just know what are your interests. What's that one thing that you love? Because at the end of the day, if you know that, you know what, I love per se taking care of people or teaching or whatever. So immediately when you just have that love, you will just elevate it to the biggest magnitude immediately once you have that paper. So it's not going to be like you're actually doing a job. Just getting that salary or whatever will just be a cherry on top. So at the end of the day, as students, try and find out what do I like? What's my niche, man? What's that thing which just makes me happy? So from there, then you just take it from there, then you go to the next step. So guys, on top of that, I went and just found out a few things within our Google. And Google said that unemployment hit a greater struggle in South African youth between the ages of 15 to 34 after the pandemic and resulting in economic slump reaching a staggering 46.3%. That is a lot, guys. That is just huge. And South Africa has the highest employment rate on the African continent and basically globally. Unemployment in South Africa, guys, is just at a dismal performance. Like we don't understand what is happening, but we do have an idea. Like if you can check, less than people who are unemployed who don't have matric, it's 50.1%. Those who have matric, it's 40.2%, and other tertiary qualifications is 6.6%, and as per se graduates, it's 2.4%. And those are the statistics from 2023. One of the major things people have been saying that the youth should be taking and embarking on is actually entrepreneurship, and basically why is it important? So basically, entrepreneurship will be addressing social issues, entrepreneurs, and paving way for social progress. They promote job creation, economic growth, and innovation. But another thing in terms of that, because the government and people are saying that everyone should be being doing entrepreneurship, because now you've noticed now it's just like podcasting basically. Now each and every person, when you go everywhere, now people just wants to do podcasting, but you have a niche regardless that everyone is just maybe per se for like the example which I've just said, podcasting. What is the niche? What is that different thing which should be providing to the masses out there? So now, if you're gonna be an entrepreneur, what is that different thing? If per se I'm gonna be selling a brand of I'm going to be creating a brand of shoes per se, just like your batu and your drip, like your legaus and so forth. What is that thing which is going to be different, which I'm going to be providing to the masses? Because it's actually pointless for me to actually do another sneaker and now be doing the same thing. What market am I going to be tackling or actually targeting? So if you now per se you're gonna be being you want to be an entrepreneur, try and analyze, man. That's why it's important to be doing your market research in terms of such things. That's per se, but that's what the government is actually saying is that guys go and be entrepreneurs. But then you ask yourself, first of all, you're gonna be needing a capital in order for you to actually start with that particular business. So there's just a whole lot of factors, man, which affect one for actually like personally me. There's certain businesses I actually want to start, but now There are others I did start, but it actually fumbled and it was just bad. Yeah, but I need to. Yeah, we learn from it. But now, what I've seen that in order for me to actually continue with the businesses I wanted to start, I need capital. Where do you get capital? You need someone who believes in your idea. Who will believe in your idea? Because at the end of the day, you know, one thing I've noticed about people, people just want to be there alone and eat alone in the table. People actually don't want to share. If you are from the hood and you are from the Kasi and you are that particular person who's actually made it, hey man, people don't give back and they don't lie to us and busy posting on social media that you are giving back. Hey man, try and give back. Yeah, give back. Give back. So, guys, basically, with me, the first job I ever did, I was a waiter, and actually, it was after I dropped out of tertiary. That's another story for another day. I dropped out of tertiary, and I was a waiter at some roadhouse, just right here in Eastgate, and yeah, I was a waiter and I was hooked up by some lady from church and he has sold us things. That lady just taught me a whole lot of things. And I went there as I had dropped out of our city and now I was going to study at UNISA. So I was going to start in the second semester. So now I was just free at that video like, no man, the father of my child knows people who knows people out there. So you want a job? Then I was like, yeah, I want a job. And then it's like, what? I asked, what's the job all about? It's like, not a waitering job. Then I went there to be a waiter. And I remember when I got there, I met the owner. I was so scared. I'd never been in an, no, I'm lying. I had been in an interview before, but it was not for a job. Because I remember when I enrolled for journalism, before they took you, I remember you had to write a test one. After you wrote that test, that's another story, but let me just share. After the story, there was an interview also. Then from there, they had to pick people, but you were sent a letter and saying that whether they've accepted you to study for a particular course. So that was actually my second time. Actually, I've been. No, it was. Let me say, it was actually my first time, like for a job. Yeah, when they met the owner's like, no, like me, um, you're gonna be starting. Then immediately told me the hours and everything. So to me, it was nice. I was actually very scared, man. But to me, because you know, I'm a people's person, and me, you give me anything, man. Me, I go anywhere and I talk to everyone. I make friends. Trust me, me. So I went there, then I started. But I particularly from there it was actually difficult, man, because I remember there was a time, sometimes maybe in between shifts where you were waiting for the order because I was not particularly fast, man, in giving out change and making sure that you know what you are attending to all the customers. And I remember the first time I actually cashed in, I was actually short by like 300 rand to 400 rand. And guys, that was 2010. That was a lot of money. And I remember the first week when I was there, the lady was like to me, no, for now, I'm not gonna be, what's this? I'm not gonna take it out of the salary you're supposed to get because we understand that we still renew. But now, I'm gonna give you a chance. If by the third time you're still doing this, I am gonna, because immediately when you were short, obviously they wanna take it out of your tips, which you were supposed to take them home. They are yours. But then after that, the lady said that if you do that by the third time, I'm gonna make sure that you wanna take it out of your salary. And I was like, obviously I was getting paid like 1.5 per month. It wasn't a lot. So to me, I went and I went because basically there were quarters there upstairs where we were staying because sometimes the hours were actually ridiculous there. Sometimes we start at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and knock off around about 1 o'clock and 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the morning. And it was run about the World Cup season, man. So obviously, man, there's no transport unless you had a room around. But other than that, there was quarter, so you knock off and go there. I was so flipping pissed at myself and said, but like, how can I be so short, man? I know that I'm not okay. I was not that good at maths, but like, come on, it's just giving out change and just learning everything. But I told to myself, you know what? Tomorrow I'm gonna make sure that I correct the previous mistakes which I did, and I make sure that you know what I just become the best waiter. So by the time when I was continuing that, I actually learned from my mistakes, guys, and now I started making tips, and now I was no more short. So it means now I had actually learned everything, because sometimes when you are attending to people, you might be just you tend to confuse yourself, so you mustn't get all flustered, man, and trying to be Superman. No, man. Just make sure that you attend to your customers. You tell them if the others you are attending another customer. You tell the previous customer, just wait, man. Let me attend to this. Let me fix this. I'll come back to you, guys. I became one of the best waiters within that place. Within 4 weeks, I was the best. I was the best. People who were even working there for like 10 years or 15 years just ended up just being jealous, because now I've got people skills, man. I've got people skills, managed to convince people, because there was this other Jana lady, BG, I remember her. Then she told me that, you know, sometimes, man, use your skills, man. You tend to talk to me. When you talk to me, I can hear, use your skills, man, in order that if a person comes here and buys maybe a hamburger and chips and cold drink, which is like a meal, make sure you convince them to buy something a bit more. Pizza, man. Add on ice cream. Make sure they add on full chicken on top of that, and make sure that they also give you a tip. But and one thing which is just important is just tips, because even if you wanna make a million deal, it's not as if maybe they'll compensate you, but yo, you did like 5 million for your business. No, at the end of the day, you give a person a nice, beautiful service. What are they gonna do in return? They give you nice tip. And one thing, guys, which I learned from that place is that the tips which I was making were actually for myself. Yes, they were actually for that myself. And in me working there, that's when I found out how people can actually be very mean. I don't know what the managers did. May they are souls rest in peace, because I heard from people that there was those managers were mean. I remember this one time it was raining so bad. And I remember I was like, okay, it was a roadhouse, because now attending to a roadhouse, a client comes in, drives in, you're supposed to go to them, take your order, then go there and put it in and comes back. I remember that and then just said to me, because I was like, it was better. Okay, if it was raining, it was better when the client, or I mean the customer came in and ordered food and they said take away. But now you know how customers are here. Some people are just ridiculous. The customer will say, I wanna eat here. I'm like, how? It's raining, no hal. Don't you wanna, like, no, I wanna eat here. I remember I was even complaining to the manager. I'm like, but that, no, the customers are always right, regardless. I remember the kitchen staff was like, no, man, those customers are just being ridiculous. And I remember that the manager said to me that even if a drop of water goes in this customer's plate, just consider yourself fired. But I tried and I managed. But one thing that I would listen to a whole lot of R&B, gospel, just to calm myself down. And I knew that, you know what, regardless of what, for me to be here, there's things which I'm supposed to learn about myself. And especially getting to know people, man. People, because I was in Basel, so people like money used to come. I think that's when I envisioned my life over there. I next time want to come here with my own car and be set here. I don't see myself doing this job for man, as I was saying, that I did not tell him everyone knew. And I think I met up with colleagues just for a drink or so. Then I left. They had paid me my salary. And I remember the next morning when I woke up, they saw me and they asked me, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "No, I'm going to town to give my sister my loan." Everyone started laughing. Like, because they knew that I'm not coming. So they paid me my month's salary. So everything was planned. Was planned that this day I would leave, and I did not want to even tell them. So I remember my shift was like at 12:30, and when I had from everyone shift, so yeah, guys, yeah, they were just mean people.
Hello, everybody over there in the world in the YouTube using your data. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel at Fredballzwane. Journey to success, journey to success, journey to success. Comment, share, like. Tell everybody that I'm here on the YouTube here. You get Wi-Fi and subscribe, man. That's a belief, toch? Please.
That I continued, started my qualification at UNITA. Then, via a friend, I also got an opportunity to work at a Protea Hotel in Hatfield. I was also a waiter. It was just for the December period. That was also extremely nice because I had never been in a hotel before. But one thing I did not like, man, about those places, man, in terms of hospitality, they tend to um, waste food. Like they tend to waste food a lot, and I don't understand because it was like staff is not supposed to eat food here. But then, for instance, I remember there was this Chinese tourists which were there, and they would sometimes like a huge cake like this would be put up for them, and sometimes they're not interested because they just wanna go around and caravan around Pretoria or whatever, and just see the scenery and everything. And they would not eat it. You know that chef would literally take that cake and just put it in the bin. I'm like, okay, now even if you don't want to give it to staff, why don't you take that? There's a hobosman downstairs. Like this. That's one thing I do not understand about hospitality companies or that hospitality industry. Like I personally do not understand it at all. And yeah, guys, I worked there for a month. It was nice. I had learned Chinese, ni hao, and everything. But everything, I loved the people which I was working with there. And guys, one thing I've noticed: never ever insult someone who serves you. Never ever be rude to someone who is gonna give you something which you're gonna put in your mouth. Never ever be rude. If they do something which is just wrong, because majority of them they are polite, they are nice. It may just happen just on that day, something or maybe whatever. So never ever be rude because Mina have done nasty things. I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie. There was this rude customer at my previous job at the old house. They came in. I went and I told the kitchen staff that that lady's literally took the chicken, that lady, put it on the floor, stamped on it, and went put it on the grill and also spit on it. And then after I literally with a smile gave it to that rude lady. Never ever be rude to someone who serves you, guys. Oh, my other job which I did, I worked as a cashier via where my sister was actually working. So I was the person where when you were buying lottery tickets, so you'd actually come to me. So that was actually nice because now that was actually much more fast paced. I was now no more in the sometimes people will just come in and they will want to give up no badge per se, their lottery tickets per se, and sometimes people will come in 10 minutes before. And now you have to make sure that they cannot miss before there's actually cut off. So that taught me a lot about working with money, and just working with money and in general, and people, sometimes people can now generally be actually extremely rude. People just come and be saying that, hey, actually won. And sometimes it's like your card, um, the system does not actually pick it up, go to the head offices. Like, that was just a, but now we could actually be extremely rude because now I was working in a place which was actually closed up. So now, but it was my boss. My boss was further alone. I'm still studying by this time, part time. Via a friend, I got an opportunity to work as a sales assistant at Aldo Shoe Shop. That was nice. Like, that was nice. The shoes, they were actually extremely expensive. I don't want to lie. And now I think I was getting better, man, with people's skills and everything. I remember this one time, the time I was working, there was a lady who came in. Okay, here's my thought. I think that's one thing I always say, that I always notice women's shoes, because majority of the shoes there were actually women's shoes, and I actually had to like what sell it and stuff. And I always say that that's why even now I notice when a lady is wearing women's shoes. So don't say why am I noticing shoes? It's because I worked there for like I think 3 months. And the time I was working there, I remember a lady came when I made my first commission, because there it was commission based and you had a salary also. So then I remember when I was there, the lady came and said that, a white lady, quite cheerful, nice white lady, said that she's going to Christmas party, her husband's Christmas party. And I said to myself, okay, now, and it's in my head. Okay, I'm helping her look for like a nice shoes. She showed me the dress. I'm like, okay, because I'm one person, guys. You can see Mr. Thing, Yana, White. I like coordinating in terms of colors. So that's why you'll never see me with weird colors. Okay, other colors always be just sketched to try, but yeah. Then she showed me the dress, and I was like, no, I believe this type of shoe would just look good in me. So then I went further to ask her, to continue further to ask her that the type of high, like heel size, will it matter? She's like, no, anything is fine. You suffer for pain. But then to myself, I said to myself, obviously there's going to be an after party there after that formal whatever. Then she said to me, yes, there is going to be. I'm like, what are you going to be wearing? It's like, no, I'll be wearing rocking up jeans. I'm like, why don't you buy a wedge? People don't know wedges, but the wedge also, you can just rock it out there and it's comfortable and everything. And by that time, I remember the assistant manager, the manager were actually listening to me. And they were like, yo, really, that's actually good. So now you've made a sale, one, you've also made another sale. It's like, hey, you're good. And I was actually proud of myself. I'll never forget that moment. I don't want to lie. And actually, I was like, oh, I'm also good at convincing people to do what I want. So yeah, with the same friend who are actually organizing that job to be a sales assistant, he also got me a job as working as an invigilator and administrator at a college in property. That was actually extremely nice. Like, guys, I don't know if I can actually notice, like, there's just an elevation to the types of jobs that I was actually doing, from being a waiter to being a cashier to a sales assistant. Now I was actually doing admin and invigilating at Rosebank College in So yeah, I started working there, which was actually very nice. So now I was actually putting, I think it was 2013. I was putting to actually study part time. It was actually nice. So now I was actually just looking for a job and to continue to study on the side. I remember this one time, and that's one thing I got in just being stern, because now majority of the students there, they could actually see that this one is like our peer. You see. So I remember this one time there were, because now there were just rules and regulations which as invigilators we were taught and told to do once you get into an exam room. So I get in there. This other ugly one is just fell out now. I can see that. I'm like, okay, I can see here. Well, I get in, I make sure that when you get any open order windows, then you just tell them, you write the times on the board. After you write the times on the board, you just prepare everything, then you just tell them that, guys, after 30 minutes, maybe please take their bags to the front. Fine, 30 minutes, some horses. How? This rude girl is like, no, she's really checking something. She's just gonna take it back to the front. I pass her. I make sure that there's nothing underneath the tables. Everyone is adhering to the rules. How? This girl, hey, but I'm like, sorry, ma'am. I'm about to hand out the answer sheets, and immediately when I'm about to hand out the answer sheets, you're not supposed to be having anything here except your stationery or your bottled water or whatever. This girl is testing me. She's like, no, just give me a second. Hey, Banna, do you know who I am? Then I'm like, you are actually in my mind, but that's not what I actually said out loud. One thing I told her, like, yeah, she thought I was crazy. I start handing out answer sheets. Yeah. Then I tell them, and she starts making noise. I ignore her. Fine. I ignore her. Then after that, I remember she started making noise, and I just ignored her. Then after I handed out the question papers, when I was handing out question, I skipped her. Kept quiet. Told everyone the time. Done right. 30 minutes surpasses 45 minutes. And she's thinking that maybe I would give up and say, no, now you can write. I'm like, no. She's like, no, do you know who I am? Yeah, I'm going to report you to the principal. I'm like, run. And she went out, took a bag. Now, because she can see time is not on her side. And I even told her, I remember when I told her, I'm like, you know what? As much as I'm here, you don't know what accolades I have in moving here. At the end of the day, I went to a university. So now, and what's the thing? That's what you are actually here. You are actually a lot. I'm gonna bleep out everything which I've just said now because I don't want to mention names. You see, then there's things I've actually attained for me to be here. So you do not have to disrespect me. Then she went out, and after called the chief invigilator, so the student, this chief invigilator came at first, like, what transpired? I went and I told the chief invigilator, this what happened. And it's like, if you do not trust me, you can ask anyone here that she was actually acting foul and she was making noise and disturbing all the students. Then after the chief invigilator was like, no man, okay, apologies for her. Then I went and I told the chief invigilator, I'm just following rules and regulations of the exam. And I went to further tell her that don't worry, you'll come and supplement. And trust me, the supplementary exam is much more difficult. Then after that, the chief invigilator said, no, big apologies for her. Then can she write? I'm like, you must know that there's only 30 minutes which is left. And if now you're gonna make the student you're gonna make me, not the student, you're gonna make me sit again, just trust me, it's over time. I loved myself because now I became so stern with everything. Like I was like, hey, don't play with me. I am Fred. What's up, everybody? Here, this is your boy Fredballzwane, Journey to Success here on YouTube. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and tell everyone that your boy is here on YouTube. We in it, the whole world, in UK and Johannesburg. Yeah, subscribe. Tell them we are here. Yes, subscribe. So, guys, I continued working at that bank. Became another. Yo, I was one of the smartest analysts in terms of everything. Continued to weather, even after 2 years or 3 years, managed to buy myself my first car. Ah! Guys, let me show you my car. There you see. That was my first, bought it. I cannot say cash because obviously it was financed. Ah! So yeah, I was still not happy. I think one thing about when working there, even though sometimes I was given much more responsibility, I was bored, man. I was bored out of my skull because it was not where I actually wanted to see myself. I don't want to lie. Yeah, I did not expect to actually be there. I had money, I did everything, but I was still not happy, guys. So, fast checking to everything, guys, in 2021, my dad was extremely sick, guys, and I actually resigned. Another story which I'll just share with you guys. I actually resigned, and I wanted to take care of my dad, but me and my mom were just. It also did not happen, but actually a month later when I resigned, my dad actually passed away. So may his soul rest in peace. So yeah, when my dad I resigned, came back home. But now, in hindsight, I was like, but I was not particularly so. Guys, I had to deal with the stress and everything. I'll share it on another episode. But then that's when I started afresh and I told myself, because I told myself I was going to be employable via the experience which I had attained at that particular point. I not knowing that looking for a job and finding a job was actually much more difficult. And now it was actually 2021. We were from COVID the previous year. Things were actually just. I went. I'm not gonna say. But there are things I fixed. I fixed things here at home. But I was stressed, man. I was stressed. Yeah. So then after that, I think then I was like to myself, I think this is a perfect opportunity for me to actually go back. Guys, that's how I actually got back to acting. Via a friend which I knew from Soweto. She was actually the scriptwriter and Don we met. We shot there. And she thought that I'm not a good actor. Guys, I can act. Right? I can act. So then after that, also got an opportunity to shoot a sitcom for SABC2 because I started looking for agents and stuff. And then after that, I think that happened maybe 2 months later. Got an opportunity to work for another financial institution, which is just right a very auditing firm, a very big one. Got an opportunity to work here. So to me, guys, I think on top of that, I think I can rewind a bit. Also with the money, which was that I tried opening up a business. As I was saying in terms of entrepreneurship, I tried it, but it was just the wrong time with the wrong people. But there are things I actually learned from there. So in terms of that, even currently, I'm like selling clothes, perfumes, whatever So basically, it's now I've gone back and doing what I love. As you know, guys, one thing you must know that if you see me uploading a episode, just know that now my life is okay. Not saying that it's perfect, but just know that it's going accordingly. So, guys, basically, those are all the jobs which I have actually